Kaboosh!
Kaboosh! And the magic is about to happen. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this next and for us first English speaking episode of our Devlog live stream, live from the Shiny Dynamics office, aka my apartment, for the ones who are not aware of this fact. Let me have a look at the stream if we already have someone in the chat. I definitely saw Deflatron being in the chat, which is lovely. Great to see you here. Yeah, welcome everyone. This is one of many streams that are going to happen in the future as well. Like I said, this is our devlog. So we had a first stream last week in German as an exception, as some of you might hear also that I just noticed, by the way, that the Twitch chat is embedded in the stream, but it's very hard to read.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's very hard to read. Let me see if I can fix that quickly.
But first of all, hello, GMX123123, crazy nickname. Welcome to the chat. So we highly appreciate every kind of questions, comments, whatsoever. Feel free to ask of anything. And yeah, like Ronnie said, first chat in English for me especially is going to be a rough challenge, but I'm happy to challenge it. Last week was the first one in German. We introduced ourselves, and I also think it's a part of this stream today, so that you get to know us a bit better, why we are founded the company, who are we actually, who's the team, what's the game, what's the progress, and also what's the daily life of freshly new game devs. Ronnie, what's going on the chat side of things?
On the
How's it
chat side
work?
of things, no, it's actually been a little bit tricky here. So I think I would need to go into onto a different setup, or basically on a different web page where I need to configure the chat overlay, which I'm not going to do right now. So instead, sorry for that, guys, but I'm going to hide you this time. Next time I'm much better prepared, promised for that. So sorry about the little technical fuck up. And yes, I said that.
But we also need to have something to improve for the next stream.
Exactly.
So software
There's always
development.
room for improvement. So yeah, as I was about to say, this is one of two live streams that is going to happen, which are going to happen every week. We had a first live stream last week in German, and we actually did like it so much, and we had so many engaging community members already in the chat back then, who asked us many exciting questions. We had so much fun that we actually decided to do this more frequently now, this time and from now on in English. So this will be a little challenge for us since we are native German speakers. So excuse us if we pronounce anything wrong, if our accents sound totally weird. You just have to deal with that. Sorry, guys. But that's the way we roll so far. This session we're going to do here, or this particular episode right now, which you're watching, is for not only sharing you what has been happening over the last week, and we get a little bit of feedback that the right one is a little bit quiet. So the right one, just for a little introduction, so you know whose name or who you're talking to. So, hi, I'm Ronnie. I'm the game producer at Shiny Dynamics and currently the producer also on the game Title Rush. Next to me in the stream on that side, hopefully, if I'm pointing in the right direction, is Christian, aka Rosie. And Rosie is our managing director. And if you're telling me that Rosie is a bit quiet, then let me see if I can somehow improve that. Give me 1 second.
In the meantime, I think it's also good testing. I'm going to introduce myself. Hopefully, you can understand every word I'm saying. So like Ronnie said and introduced, I'm Christian. I'm the general manager of the company so-called Shiny Dynamics. So before we were talking about the company, I'm going to talk a bit more about myself. So I'm not from the industry so far. So I joined the industry like 2 years ago. And before this, I worked in a couple of jobs in the startup industry, so especially software, ERP software, or in the health care area, most especially. And yeah, I'm 39 years old. I'm a passionate gamer. That's also the reason why we founded the company. I love playing games. And just to answer the question, which Ronnie May would ask me, my most favorite game of all time, I would say, is Final Fantasy 8 or 10. But I think it's more 8 because it was my first awesome story driven journey with a lot of gray hair, which I've experienced on my PlayStation 1. Um, Currently, I'm playing a lot Water Park Simulator, but also our game, obviously. So on a daily basis, and yeah,
What is it about Water Park Simulator that everyone is crazy about at the moment? I hear that quite often, that everyone is playing this game for a reason,
uh,
and I haven't figured it out yet.
it's a cool game. So it also gives you gray hair. So it's all about that you are actually creating your own water park, starting with like actually a junkyard full of used and fucked up things in there, which you need to actually tore down. Then you need to rebuild. But on the other hand, you also need to manage your park during the opening time. So they are made drowning peoples. They want to have hot dogs served. Then you also have some people who try to sneak into the park. You need to figure out who is who, and it's quite cool because it's actually the type of battles player thingy, which is a target group like the achievers, because you always want to do like another day, earning more money, and it's also all about the funny things that can happen because especially the slides they are so crazy because sometimes they are challenging the physics because you have like loopings in there, and it's always funny to see how your visitors are falling off the slides. So, for example, so it's a crazy game. Very good for streaming, very good for storytelling. But yeah, that's currently my jam next to our game. And yeah, I also have a lovely daughter. Um, and I also mentioned it last week in a German stream that I tried to get her into gaming so that we have a lot of cool gaming sessions together. It happens sometimes, especially with games like It Takes Two or Minecraft. But her jam actually is The Sims, and more specifically, just building houses. So it's all about copying, I don't know, one house from Modern Family or stuff like this, or building her dream house, whatsoever. And then when she's ready and starting the game, then she restarts the game just to do another house. And I think it's kind of cool. And also a thing what I like about games that game is even more than just forgetting your time and have something you can go to like another universe, another world. It's also about learning because Ronnie, I asked Ronnie because you may have already heard that my language sometimes is a bit bad. And I was always overwhelmed by Ronnie's knowledge of vocabulary. And I asked him, where did you learn English so well? And he was like,
In
gaming.
games. In games, yeah, guys, that's
So
actually true. A lot of my, I would say, modern days vocabulary comes from gaming over the last couple of years. Otherwise, I would never have probably learned in school what properties or settings or whatever mean. But yeah, playing games in English localization or in English language actually helped me quite a lot to improve my own vocabulary. That is fascinating, still to the point, still up to until today. And yeah, when I'm saying that to friends, they usually don't believe me, but it is in fact very true. So jumping before we jump into the next questions, because you mentioned some things about who we are, and before I probably introduce myself, I can't do anything about the audio. About the noise level of you, Rosie, from here. What you probably need to do in order to increase your microphone volume a bit is, can you go into your Windows microphone settings and just increase the input noise level of your microphone? If you're too loud, then I can counter that in on my end, but I need the source to be louder, and that's you.
is
In the
it better?
meantime,
Hello? Hello?
that is slightly better actually. At least your
Okay.
At least your audio level is now hitting the yellow mark, not the green one. If the
Yeah,
sound, if
I think the red one is always good, right? Hitting the red
the
bar
red
and
one is always good, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's good. Okay,
If
awesome.
your headphones or your speakers scream in agony, then you're on the right path.
What?
So yeah, you said already a little bit about yourself. So I'm also not from the games industry originally. I basically grew up in the marketing industry, worked for software as a service companies and e-commerce platforms or e-commerce running platforms, better to say, or companies over the last couple of years for startups as well. Did all sorts of jobs over there. I did. What is Devlog running? Tongue click should just about hit the red mark. do a tongue click for us, Rosie. You're far away from the red mark, so I think you can go even further.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I started in marketing, very classic marketing. I actually did advertisement campaigns for all sorts of products. So basically, any agency or any manufacturer could come to people like me and ask for, hey, can you come up with a crazy advertising idea and create a campaign around advertising this new shoe or advertising this new lemonade I came up with like a super fancy, I don't know, cherry pumpkin flavor. I don't know. It's autumn season, so I might come up with cherry pumpkin here. And I was the guy usually in charge, or one of the people that thought about how to advertise those things. And from there on, I transitioned later on into the sales departments and also into the customer success departments, which is all very technical shebang. I don't want to bore you with that, what that exactly means. If you have any particular questions about that, please feel free to write that in the chat, and I will get back to you on that part later. But I always had that dream of building a game together, and this was probably a childhood-long dream to slowly segue now into why are we actually building Title Rush? Why did we step into the games industry? Is I had that dream since I was a kid. I'm a super passionate gamer myself. Played hundreds of games in my life on various different platforms and also non-digital ones. So I like board games. I like card games. I like handheld console games. I played on PlayStations, various PlayStation generations, Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch. I tried as much as I can and as much as my budget obviously allows to get as much knowledge about the variety of games that are out there as possible. And there was this underlying dream in my head, always like nagging me in the back of my head. It's like, one day I'm going to build my own games. One day I'm going to do that. And I remember that I was standing in front of the Games Academy when I was very young. Actually, before I chose my studies, I was standing in front of the Games Academy, which was like a very well-known, or which is actually still is a very well-known institution for educating people on how to build games. It's like either on game design, on game programming, on game art. It doesn't really matter. And I think I tried to apply there for a game design educationship or program, which unfortunately didn't work out. Not because of my application being denied, but because of the sheer fact. My God, because of the sheer fact that they introduced me to the study fees. And I was very humbled at that time when I heard about that for the first time. So unfortunately, due to lack of budget, I had to postpone that for a while. Let's say it like that. And now we're back. Now we're back in the lovely situation that we said, hey, if we never gonna do games, or if we never gonna step into the games industry, we will never do it again, or we will never do it in the future. So why not do it now? So we quit our jobs a couple of years ago. And well,
not why we are dumb. We not quit it why we are dumb, because we had a dream, right?
We had a dream. We want to pursue that dream. Maybe we're also a little bit dumb. I don't know. If you hear all the news about the games industry, that the games industry is a little bit rough at the moment, and a lot of studios are doing layoffs with hundreds of people, then maybe we are a bit dumb, a bit naive, let's say.
I would say naive.
Naive sounds nicer, right? But yeah, we are happy to do it. I'm more than happy to be part of that community, of that industry. That industry has been incredibly welcoming from day one. Everyone is so open to share their knowledge, and we're working with an incredible team. Also, part of the team is also present in the chat, so very happy that you guys join us today. And yeah, why Title Rush, and what is Title Rush? Maybe to segue into that, and since I've talked quite a lot right now. Rosie, do you want to introduce Title Rush, or shall I just go on? Up to you.
I'm not going to introduce Title Rush. You are going to introduce Title Rush, and I will
Okay.
speak a bit more about Shiny and what is the vision maybe behind Shiny. So, like Ronnie said, we were a bit naive and thought about, okay, why not now? Because then never ever will it going to be will going to happen. So that's the reason why we started Shiny last year in January. For I would say nice, good-looking, awesome founders. Um, and yeah, so we started the company.
Especially good looking.
Especially good looking, yeah. And yeah, what's our mission and vision? So actually, what we want to do is we want to create a very awesome brand, very awesome IP around a set of characters, around a shared lore in different genres, with actually games that are endlessly replayable, evergreens. So games which are easy to pick up, but you can play always with your family, with your friends, online or a single player. So a bit of Nintendo vibes in here. So that's also like our motivation to actually create it in the Nintendo of tomorrow, but cross-platform, but not hardware-wise. So we do not want to reinvent the Game Boy, but more about, like I said already, that a brand, that IP, which we want to create, that kind of world. And that kind of world, we are also telling the awesome Shinyverse, which means a lot of games combined in one shared universe. And yeah, so that's the reason why we started the company. And yeah, our first game in here is going to be Title Rush. And so I said Title Rush, Ronnie. Now it's your turn.
That is the magic
The
keyword
stage
with
is
the
yours.
blinking arrow on my webcam now. Yeah, why did we decide to build Title Rush? So we didn't tell anything about our age. So I'm 36 years old. So a long time ago, some might disagree to that, but a long time ago, when we sat in front of our TVs when we were kids, young teenagers or getting into teenage mode with starting to rebel against anything. This was also, I would say, a golden era of arcade racing games, and I played quite many of those arcade racing games. I played F-Zero, I played all the old Mario Kart games. I digged into the Burnout series, like all sorts of games that imprisoned me basically in front of the TV, together with my friends, together with my brother, and many other people over the years. And there was this underlying thought in my head in the last couple of years, when being like an adult gamer myself now, that a lot of the games seem to consume quite a lot of time. They try to get me into, really drag me into the game, suck up all the valuable time I have in order to really make progress in the game, etc., etc. And I wanted to go back to these childhood moments where I could just easily step into a game, play a couple of rounds, step out of a game, and it's just pure fun. It's pure engaging. So we thought, hey, why not building a game that has this sort of childhood, or that enforces these childhood memories, these special moments when you're just sitting there and you just enjoy the game for the game just being absolute pure fun. So we thought, okay, what type of games did we play at these days? Like I said, all those arcade racing games. We thought about Mario Kart. We thought about Wave Race 64, which still has a very special place in my heart because the soundtrack runs through my head day by day. So we thought, hey, why not just combine or throw Mario Kart, the old Mario Kart games, and Wave Race into one pot and see what comes out of it. And that was the sort of the birth moment for the idea of Title Rush, an arcade racing game, like a tribute to all the good old arcade racing games on water. A couple of very cutesy looking characters racing against each other on watery surfaces. Very similar, like I said, to Mario Kart. You pick up items, you throw them against each other, but modernized. So in a way, it's a game designed to be played by a broad audience of a wide variety of ages. So this could potentially be played by a teenager. This could also be played by a like a mid-30 kind of guy like me. This could also be played by your granddad together with the little ones. So everyone can basically play it. It's super easy to pick up, but it's really hard to master if you really want to get into it. And I know for a fact that Devlog, for example, is a very passionate player when it comes to like really digging into games and finding the last possible way of improving his skills. So this would also be something for those kind of players. So we said, okay, this was quite an easy, straightforward move. Title Rush it is. Let's go. Let's modernize it. Let's put it to a new level. But let's keep all the good learnings from those games back in the days in our minds. So let's focus on fun gameplay first, modernize the art style a bit, and then come up with something that is really like purely enjoyable. And we're playing this game now since a couple of months, day by day, together with the team, and it's still super enjoyable to the day. And it's probably going to be even more enjoyable in the future as well. So we're going to show you a bit of gameplay today. Later on, before we do that, I would like to show to you what we have cooked up behind the scenes in the last week, show you a little bit of updates, and therefore I did a little recording last week because every Friday in our team we are doing product reviews. And in those product reviews, people are usually talking quite a lot about what happened. So, Rosie, if you don't have anything to add, I will jump over to that.
No. I'm going to add it
video
later.
All right, then let's move into the video and see how that works.
Oh, Ronnie, wait a moment. Just read the chat. So Deflotron mentioned there's no sound. We're definitely gonna do titles. Post in chat how many minutes they notice. So actually, do you mean sound from the video or do you mean sound from us? Can you hear us? Yeah. Because I think there is no sound for the video, right? Oh. You switched the scene, I think. Back to the drawing board, yeah.
How
So
about
let's get
how about now, guys? Now you should be able to hear me.
put a 1 into the chat if you can hear Ronnie.
Back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be wise if you actually prepare something nice.
Both still quiet. So
Both
maybe
still
you
quiet.
is there like a limiter in the audio settings?
I don't have any limiters to be honest. I put actually my microphone input noise level to the absolute maximum, so I don't know how I can even push this any further. I can just come closer to the microphone.
Oh, that's awesome. So, like we already said, we want to improve stream to stream. So, like in 5 weeks or so, we have like the professional setup you expected for today.
Okay,
Sounds good to me.
so
Thank you, Rick.
Okay, so sound seems to be back online, so sorry for skipping the first almost 2 minutes. So just as a little recap, you saw a couple of sparking visual effects. Those are going to be used for like player-to-player collisions. So basically the first couple of 2 minutes that I just showed you in the video, or we showed you in the video, are collision interactions. One is this bursty kind of metal spark that happens when a player and another player and those jet ski metal bodies basically collide in an instant. The other one is a more constant visual effect of that. Basically, when they collide for a longer time, then this constant effect will be played. And the other one, the sort of poisonous purple smoke with the little crystal fragments, is when you collide with the crystal inside wall of the crystal caves in Shadowstone Cavern. If you haven't,
One question. Is my
yes,
sound better now?
you are a bit louder, at least on my end.
I think also for the chat. Because as always, my default device was my headset microphone.
Yeah,
And the other one, my Roden or my Rode, was limited down to 8%. So
interesting.
I think it's, yeah.
I put that up to 100, so no, it should be working.
Okay,
GMX
awesome. Now I can
123 is running. It's good now. So we should be good to go. Okay, then let's move
Cool.
on. So now that my microphone is working again, thank God for the chat alarming me about that. Let's move on. So the little cherry on top I was about to show you as well was these waterfall effects. So this was kind of a nice surprise from our animator and VFX artist Vin. What he did is he took the splash effects of our jet skis that you usually see when just driving through water or drifting, and he basically put that through the mixer. He changed a couple of parameters, he changed a couple of values, did his magic basically, and he came up with beautiful looking water effects. Those are 100% scalable, which you're going to see also in an instant. So you can freely move them around. You can make them bigger. You can make them smaller. So you can basically simulate an increased particle dense. You can simulate like gigantic waterfalls. You can just do like tiny little splashes. But those are looking absolutely fantastic. As you can see here, he's also playing around with that a bit. Yeah, that's already, I think, in the latest development build. And soon that is also going to be in the next demo. Moving on to impact animation. So we talked about I talked, at least the part that was understandable for the chat. I talked a bit about collisions. Frank, one of our developers, took over the pleasure and implemented impact animations, dynamic ones also. So if you look at the little rabbit you see in that scene now, in the game, there is, depending on what direction you approach a hazard, in this case, if you run into a mine and it explodes, the character will actually react to that and bend over in this shocked kind of animation state in a certain direction. There will also be a nice little spin to it, but that's going to be added later. And as a final thing, last week, he also did implement a wrong way indicator. This is 100% dev art, by the way, guys. This is not final look of this functionality, but now the game actually detects if you're running into the wrong direction.
Very important for Ronnie.
Very important because I do that all the time. Coming to UI updates next, a lot of stuff happens on the UI side at the moment. So the game is basically undergoing a massive construction work now on the UI side of things. And just for, by the way, I'm not remembering out of my head. I put like tons of notes about this videos just to showcase you. So what Dave, or other developer, is actually showing here is what he has done over the last weeks. He improved a lot of the UI style consistency over the last week, and basically updated all the UI elements you see in the menus. He updated the leaderboards, so everything has the new font. Everything is adjusted to different screen sizes. So ultra wide support will be also something that is going to be shown in a few minutes here. All the track selections, all the different racing modes. So time trial in this case, for example, I think he's also going to show us the multiplayer lobby and the Grand Prix, although the Grand Prix is not done yet. the automatic snapping of the scrolling and the leaderboard as of what you see right now. So various stuff that happens on the UI side, and this also includes a fix in the vehicle stats bar or in the stat bars, I think, because all the player characters and the jet skis are going to have unique values attached to them, and depending on what combination of jet ski and character you choose, the values will slightly change. So there will also be a difference in what character and what jet ski you're riding with, and this will have like a tiny impact on the gameplay as well. So it's not implemented in the game yet. From a visual point of view, yes, this is, by the way, the ultra widescreen support I mentioned. So it works absolutely fantastic. It looks great. Dave has done a tremendous job on that one. And I think what he also did fix by the end of this little cottage section here is there was a bug before in it that when you open up the tutorial, you were actually able to control the main menu in the background. So basically, while the tutorial was still open, you would basically be able to navigate through the menu and even start the game, or were close to start the game before the tutorial pop-up basically closed. And this has also been fixed at this point.
It looks so good, I have to say. It looks so cool.
It looks fantastic. It looks so much. It looks so distinguishingly different compared to what we had before from this development user interface.
Actually, you need to show this when you think about how we started. Yeah, so it's also funny when you think about how long we are in prototyping or working on the game right now. Yeah, so it's like roughly 10 months now, because also before we started Title Rush, we also had like a side quest in our company the first 6 months to actually step into every, what is it called, shithole? I don't know, or what is it called, Fettnäpfchen in English?
That is a very good question.
I would say
let's call it pitfall.
Pitfall.
Maybe shithole is not the right word.
Oh, actually, every pitfall we wanted to or tried to avoid, we actually jumped heads first into for the first couple of months. But I think also it was a quite good and hard learning about growing too fast, about focusing on the wrong stuff, about getting stuck into a very long game jam without any content at the end. And so very cool to see the progress on the other hand on Title Rush. So after we aligned on starting the game, actually our main idea of the game, I think it was like 1 week that we had like the first kind of a playable prototype. At the beginning, not in a wrong, but in another engine, because we started out in Unreal, then later on switched to Unity. Also here, thanks to Tom about convincing the whole company to do this. And I think for that kind of time, we or the team, not I do not want to include myself, maybe design-wise, but what the team did is so crazy in that time.
It is awesome. It is in fact absolutely fantastic. And with all the UI updates basically now being shown or being showcased here in the video, I stopped the video for a tiny split second there because I wanted to show you something else that is now finding its way into the game soon. Kind of a first draft. We're not like entirely happy with what we have already in here, but you know this as drafting. Officially, I think this is called slipstreaming. So usually kart racing games and also Title Rush has this functionality that when you are very close to another player and you're right behind him, you are driving in his slipstream. So basically you have a benefit either by driving or by increasing your total speed or by being temporarily pushed or boosted by driving or when you drive in another player's slipstream. So this is part of the functionality in Title Rush as well. There's a drafting or slipstreaming feature. So when you stay in the slipstream of another player for long enough, then a boost will charge up. And if that happens long enough, then you will get like a tiny boost. This boost or this drafting visual effect will be represented as those lovely charging effect that you see here right now, those little rings appearing around the player. This is obviously currently for development purposes, so we bound this to a key. but usually this should happen when you approach a player and you drive behind him for a little bit of time. Then this lovely effect pops up and you get a tiny boost without actually using an item.
Yeah.
And I think it already looks quite fantastic with everything going on the screen, with like the waves, the splash effects, etc. It might be a little bit hard to spot, which is basically the main reason why we're not entirely happy with it as of right now. But this should come a long way in the future as well if we're gonna proceed with that. And I think the next thing we're gonna look into when this video is over, we are gonna look into track. Into the track environment of the second track, because what we haven't said so far is that we are
one question in between. What is the thing? Because like you now knew that we are complete without any knowledge, or we start without any knowledge into the games industry. So Ronnie, from your perspective, what is the most overrated stuff in gaming, and what is the most underrated based on like complicity or complexity whatsoever? What do you think? Okay, but where you actually thought at the beginning, okay, that's maybe easy to do this, or it's maybe hard to do this, but it turns out the other way.
The most underrated. That's a very good question, actually. The most. Honestly, I won't be that crazy to state anything that is underrated, because I think everything in game development is complicated, which is probably
or better said, underestimated, like the effort you need to put into what kind of thing.
So I think track design would probably be a good example, because I wasn't aware at all of how complex the sheer process of designing a racetrack would be. Like thinking about why a specific corner is in that particular place of the track, how many times a level designer or a track designer needs to go through that level in order to really test it out from various perspectives, how long you need to take to go through that part of the track. If there's any road blockers for new players when playing that new part of the track. I think this is something I heavily underestimated in terms of complexity, and I'm more and more realizing how complex that actually is right now, observing our game designer currently designing these tracks. This is definitely, but I could basically, honestly, I could tell this about every aspect of game development. I mean, like I said, I worked in various startups, I worked in various software companies, and I thought software development on its own is complex, yes, but to some extent is more or less complex, so it's manageable. But since I stepped into game development and I'm watching the team developing certain game features or certain background elements of like stuff that supports the game or the game in its functionality, I realize how much more complex that is. And that is truly impressive and an amazing skill to have. But it requires time.
For me, actually, I underestimated everything. So
that's what I'm saying, basically.
For me, it was like, hopping into, and then, okay, we need to plan this and create that document, and then need to define that kind of weapon chance type, whatsoever. So actually, I think when you spend a couple of months, like we, or a year over year now, nearly 2 years in the industry, then you have another fresh pair of eyes when you're playing games. That you are actually looking like, oh, look at that crazy asset, look at that crazy I don't know. So actually, you look at everything in another way. And for me, I have to say, what pops in my mind right now is music and sound effects. Because when you bothered me with like, hey, we need to define music and also sound effects. Okay, let's do this. Okay, I give a mood. Let's have like 10 VFX, and then it's done, or FX. But then he came around with that kind of list with how many sound effects? 100 or a 70 or the 80? We both were like, what the heck?
Yeah, I think the initial list was something around 85, 86 sound effects, and the list is growing constantly. Every single week, I'm adding sound effects to this. And yeah, it's like I said, it's just complex. You can't think like in that minute detail right from the beginning, as you might have thought before. So just the other day, I think just yesterday or today, I was thinking about like we showed you all these updates about like collision visual effects and collision impacts, etc. And then I looked at this audio Bible, as we called the document. So basically that requirements list of all the sound effects. And I realized, oh yes, that means we need a collision sound effect for each surface type, which is probably 5 to 6 different surface types, which basically is just the sound of the different materials colliding. Then you need a sound effect for when the collision happens, how the character reacts to this collision, which is also based on how many different characters do you have. So each character does have a specific sound for, or shall have a specific sound for these types of collisions. And then there's going to be other sorts of collisions, like weapon impacts or like a light impact, a heavy impact. So you could vary all those sound effects multiple times. And then this is the complexity, or where complexity comes in. So it's a living document. It's increasing, and the same with our product roadmap. You try to define everything right from the get-go, and you just can't do it. Not if you don't take like the proper time for preparation and really defining out what type of game you will playing, what type of game you will developing, which is, I think, the kind of special situation we are in right now, because we are kind of, I would say, designing the game in parallel to while we are programming it. In a way, it's not the wisest thing to do, but we're doing it.
Exec, I think Exec from the chat is a quite good question about how much time are we or the team spending on the game per week. So I would say from my side, 15 to 20 hours per week for gaming, which means like joining the meetings or design-wise whatsoever. Because I do not have like the dev background, I want to get a bit more into game design, especially level design. But right now, for me, I put more focus on the public funding thingy, so receiving some money from the German government and stuff like this. But I think, Ronnie, you are nearly 80% of your time, or 100 actually, or?
Yeah, not that much.
Working on the game?
Not that much actually. So we play the game every morning, a couple of sessions, or one to three sessions, looking at the latest builds, looking at the latest updates, just constantly experiencing the game over and over again and see if it's still fun. That's super essential. So probably every morning, like 30 to 40 minutes is probably realistic, or maybe 20 to 30 minutes is realistic. And then every once in a while, if there's multiple builds coming in, or if there's like a new build coming in that will update the demo, I'm usually spending like a couple of minutes, like 15 to 20 minutes in testing on my own, and also in multiplayer. So you can say that we are probably getting close to a couple of hours per week. That's realistic. But it's good. There are many games you can't actually test in that minute detail that early in the development process. So that's actually an advantage we have.
On a daily basis, yeah.
Exactly. So since people are already asking about racing, let's maybe skip through the last couple of product updates here, and then we jump into a couple of play sessions that people are actually going to see what we are developing as well.
Kind reminder from my side, if you not already did, download the demo, that you can join our lobby for a fun multiplayer game.
Yes, absolutely. So if you want to join our sessions later on, I pinned the download link to the tech demo in the chat at the very top. So that's the Steam download link for that. So have a look at that, download it. It's not that large. It's actually quite quick to download. Then we can have a couple of sessions. So like I said, there has already been, or there's currently 2 new tracks in the making. One is something that we call Primordial B. It's basically our second track. It's supposed to be a very easy track in terms of difficulty, and our art director Phil did an amazing job in further dressing and bring a lot of more assets into the track. So a lot of moving objects, drones, audience ships. He turned the water surface basically into one continuous line so that you don't have any crazy hiccups at the moment, because this track is quite new. there's more of these lava flows, there's more flora, so the background actually in the sides, the bending tree arms, there has been so many improvements. A lot of textures have been added to the game. The lighting at the moment is a little bit off, so this is actually not 100% how the game usually should look, but this will also change. But the game or the track has actually come a very, very long way compared to the time it actually exists. So that is definitely kind of something that is improved very, very quickly over the next weeks. And since we are already preparing for Steam Next Fest, this will also be part of the Steam Next Fest demo release. So we are planning to add those both new tracks I just mentioned in the Steam Next Fest demo. Okay, let me skip a bit of that video. Like I said, so in the product video, there were a tiny bit more updates. So we looked at a couple of the signs, navigational signs, hazards or hazard signs still are about to come in, and a few other bits and pieces. I think Phil also did add the waterfall effects to the Shatterstone Cavern to the first track, and there's probably going to be more waterfalls where those came from. And if we're gonna skip a bit further, then we're gonna, this is a little shortcut or a little view into that. We're actually currently working on an update on our gameplay trailer. So the old trailer that you currently find on our YouTube or other social media channels is a bit outdated. So if you can compare those both screens, the previous version of the trailer had this sort of yellow grubby looking tone, like lighting tone overlay over the game. And the new one is actually much more fresh, much more refreshed. And then we have updates from the third track. The third track is actually still in very early production. It just has exited the early track design phase. So there is basically no walls, or has been no walls in it. You could easily follow the track from now on. And our track designer, Kev, has actually put a lot of effort into introducing and boxing out the different areas of the track. You can see here. Obviously that still needs a long time or a long time to be perfected, but this new track is also going to be part of the Steam Next Fest, hopefully, and we're improving that day by day.
What I can say is, so far it's my most beloved track. I have to say it.
Yeah.
I would say, and I also mentioned last week that you can see like the development process not only of the tracks but also from Kev's side, track by track. So the improvement. So the first one I would say is like the default one, like nice for tutorial, nice to introduce mechanics. The second one, I think it's a bit harder because here you have like those risk and reward shortcuts and stuff like this. And the third one, I think that's for the time trialers and the speedsters and whatsoever, to actually figure out the fastest way to get around that lab. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's absolutely mind-blowing. So the track is from a difficulty level, since I mentioned it, like on a scale from 1 to 5, where 5 is like very hard. This is like, or is supposed to be like a 4. So definitely a more challenging track. Sorry, by the way, for the video being a bit laggy. That's not the stream. That is actually the recording of the video, because we recorded this right out of the game engine of the editor. So everything is a bit laggy. But you can see now, and this is always a super exciting time when designing new tracks, when like the first walls come in, reed find its way. So all the lily pads and the reed finds its way into the game, and other objects that you'll finally be able to see how the track actually looks like, or can look like in the end. And with that being said, I would say let's put a stop to this product update for now. There will be many more product updates in the next live streams, but I would say, looking at the time, let's hop into a little game session, shall we, Rosie?
Yeah, let's play.
Wonderful. So that being said, I'm gonna switch to my game, and my lovely chat, can you confirm to me that you are able to hear my game sound? Just put a 1 into the chat, or a confirmation of any kind. Negative.
Negative.
Is bad. Why not? Why is that negative?
I think you should call the guy.
I think I need to call the guy. What if I?
You know the guy? There's always one guy who can fix it. There's always one guy
Well,
to fix it.
Deflatron writes negative. GMX writes 1. So
the game sound. So we're talking about the game sound.
My in-game sound.
Yep.
So who is right and who's wrong now? It's probably a bit loud now if I increase the noise level to 50%. So I will put it at 30, and you guys need to tell me if that's too loud, if you can still hear me properly. Just let me know. I'm testing a few bits and pieces with my audio setting these days, so that might need to improve over the next streams.
So, if you want to join us, or if you want to play with us, so first of all, download the demo, or if you already have the demo, check if we are on the current version, which is 0.2.5. Yeah, that's only the thing I want to mention. And I'm going to open up a lobby.
Alrighty, then I'm gonna join your lobby, and for everyone else, obviously, like Rosie said, feel free to join us. Always happy to challenge the community.
Yes. 3 labs, random items.
So sound-wise, I'm good. Rosie's good. No music, no sound effect. That is interesting, and I can't tell you why. Sorry for that. I will figure out what's wrong and hopefully fix it until the next time, because everything in my OBS setting is blinking. That is supposed to be blinking.
Oh, that's a quite cool lobby right now. You need to join, Ronnie. Are you already in? Yeah,
I'm already. Oh, I see a lot of JDJs and Vinnies, so I will take over the role of Felicia, our cat.
Yes.
And I will change to a very cat-like jet ski as well.
What is a cat-like jet ski?
That's the tiger stripes one. Is it a tiger? Yeah, it's a tiger. So lovely. We have Boltaker and Toverban in the lobby. Welcome and good
Big
luck.
Bang Ushi as well.
And Big Bang. Oh yeah, I'm terribly sorry. I missed that Big Bang Ushi as well. Already. Ushi, lovely to have you back.
Yeah.
In the stream. All right. Is anyone else joining us? I would say we wait another 10 seconds or roughly 10 seconds, and then we will hop into the first session today.
So
this is so exciting, by the way. Like I've like I said in the last stream already, this is like the first live stream I ever did or I participated in was the one with Jade Live a couple of weeks ago. So this is my 3rd live stream now, and it kind of it's a cool experience just talking with you, sitting here, showcasing the game, talking about what we experience basically on a daily level.
And actually also playing together.
And also playing together and also get the response from the audience. All right, so I would say let's start. So if you guys could lock in your character and track choice, we will hop into Shadowstone Cavern, which is currently our only playable track.
Toverban, can you please
confirm your choice? Here we go. This game is, by the way, optimized for gamepad control. So I'm playing with an Xbox controller here, everyone.
Yep.
So if you want to do the same, I would highly recommend doing that. There is also a keyboard layout for playing the game. But it's a little bit fiddly, if you ask me. It works. Let's say it like that. And I heard Boltaker needs to be put in his place, right? Because Boltaker is trying to beat our records.
Like always.
If you check out the latest leaderboards, guys, you will actually find out that that Boltaker is challenging the development team on the best racing times. So that means no mercy.
Currently, I'm challenging myself. Only sandbanking.
Yep, been there, done that.
And just think about the croc block, yeah, Ronnie?
I always think about the. Thank God we are playing on a 3 laps setup right now, because usually our animator Vin, when he hosts game sessions, everyone is playing on 3 laps. Vin is the only one who's usually playing on 5 or 4, and that always confuses me when I finish the 3rd round and I don't realize that there's actually still one more round. and I already put the controller aside. Then I realized, oh god, it's not ending. There's more. Now I can already see a bunch of mines exploding in front of me. That's good. Ooh.
No, sandbank myself again.
Crocs, hello. There is one of our AI bots sitting in the stalagmites. I think that's something we need to observe. Overban leading the front. That's leading the crowd. That's quite nice to see. Or not anymore. Here we go. I can't unsee that joke you made the other day on TikTok with the "My name is Jeff." You know, the one with the
the crocodile
with the T-Rex
without the chin.
Yeah. Every time I see our crocodile now, and I see the missing the kind of missing chin.
My name is Jeff.
I can't stop laughing about this. And there goes Rosie with his banked boost items.
No blue, no blue. I hate it.
That was a perfect.
I hate it. Yeah, that was a perfect example of how, for example, adjust the weapon chance table. That not in the last round, and especially not when I'm driving on first position, you cannot get those. I nearly cursed blue torpedo.
Yeah, well played, Blue Torpedo. Whoever fired that, I'm very thankful for that, because that allowed me to be first place. Thank you very much.
I think it was Baltic or a Big Bang Ushi or something like this. But great race. So
Probably.
Especially Tovaban, never played with you before, but awesome job.
It's always also an impressive lap and race time. So good one.
Yeah, I think it's not the first. It's not not this first time. Also funny about our game so far, but it's also happening in the other fundraisers. Even last round, with like a few meters ahead, you are not safe on the first position. You can be handed down to. I think it happens to both of us already. Like you think you're going to win last straight, first position, bam, handed down to the fifth position. Do like multiple shots from torpedoes or so.
Yeah. You always notice when Rosie's noise level or his voice is raised slightly, that he's like very engaged right now. He's very emotional. He's already super frustrated at the
moment. No, I'm not.
So I would say more blue torpedoes.
That's my average speaking speed. Sorry. Get out of my way. Get out of my way.
And there goes my name is Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
It's also like, I think from a tactical perspective, clever if you do it like Kev. So just let yourself fall behind, like to the third or fourth position, getting all the good items, and then last round is your comeback.
Yeah, I think that's a very common tactic in arcade racing games called banking, or item banking is, I think, the term for it.
I think Balltaker is doing this all the day.
Probably, yeah. And I see Toverban and Balltaker fighting for the third place here. That's very lovely. You know how they say if like two people fight, then the third one is just going to take over. So bye, fellas.
Kaboosh.
Kaboosh. I'm probably saying that right now, and in a split second, some blue and red torpedoes will find its way to me.
I think also the middle of the field is always the funniest, but also most stressful area you can race within when you are in the race.
Also the torpedo heaviest, I would say.
Yeah. There's the Big Bang Ushi. Let's go. Thank you for the mine.
Yeah, that was a mean one. Sorry for that. But I had to do it. The combination of boost items and mines is like too tempting.
Oh, there was a tree.
Crocodile.
Son of a biscuit eater. And now someone has stole my item.
I see red torpedoes flying. That's always a good one. Just not for me, please. What the heck happened actually? I just was on first place and now I'm on third. And now I totally ruined everything.
And I think I'm going to lose.
You're not losing. Everyone is a winner in this game.
Okay, thank you for cheering me up. Woo!
Hyping you, Rosie, hyping you.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
That's a very solid performance once again from Boltaker, Toverban, and Big Bang Ushi. Nice. Great racing times.
Maybe guys, for you also important, or fellas, sorry. It's also part of my job description to be a cheerleader. I think Ronnie as well. He's cheering everyone up inside the company. And because we are starting the day always, I don't know how you manage this on a daily basis, Ronnie, to get up without any coffee and still have that kind of crazy good mood.
I'm just an insanely good person.
Positive.
I have no clue either. Believe me, I'm fighting with myself every day. It's not that it's easy.
I see this.
It's getting harder every day.
You're like Two-Face.
But I'm
You're looking like Two-Face. You're looking like Two-Face, always like grimming or like laughing.
One is like, right.
Last one.
The water sounds are stuck on my game. Yes, that's actually. We are aware of this, actually. This is a bug that recently popped up again in the multiplayer lobby, so sometimes the water sounds come back. They should go away if we start another race. Hopefully. If not, we might need to restart the lobby or restart the game. But I think looking at the time, this is probably our last racing session for today, I would say.
All or nothing, I would say.
I mean, there's always someone who yells for another round. Just another one. Just another one. What is sprut for a sound?
It's like my own censorship or so. It's my way to censor the things I would say.
Okay. To cut off curse words.
Bye bye, Ushi. I just hear the beeping of the mines everywhere right now.
Oh, God, I'm constantly missing pickups. What am I doing?
Ball taker, I'm coming for you. Boops. Boops.
Someone is enjoying this way too much. But this is the feeling of Tide Rush, fellas. This is exactly what we experience on a daily basis. And this is also what gives me the kind of perception
power.
Also the perception that Tide Rush is gonna be a successful game. As soon as you start playing this, you will get this underlying hatred of just succeeding and just winning against your opponent.
And that's the reason why little kids are going to play this.
Yeah. You remember the days when we said, hey, we want to build like relaxing games that are like totally chilled out, not overwhelming people with like aggressive emotions or anything like that? Forget about it. Let's build Tide Rush and just get crazy. There's a blue torpedo incoming for someone?
Yeah, for me, I guess. There, I'm pretty alone. Oh, Ronnie, did you actually stole my?
You said something.
I was about to say that's pretty. I'm pretty alone up front here, but then you came along and stole my item. Thank you for this.
You are very welcome. Oh, I see a geezer. I see a geezer. I'm not entirely mistaken. I think there's something wrong with the collision mesh on the reeds in the top section of the cave. I think you can actually partially touch it without being slowed down, but I'm not sure. I need to test that. And there goes...
At least right in front of Boltaker. Yes! That was my mission. Yeah, that's good.
That was the mission.
That was the only mission.
Mission accomplished, I would say.
Yeah.
Right. And thanks once again for the blue torpedo that almost cost me the first place.
Yeah. It's my pleasure.
Comeback of second. Nice, good one. Good job. Those are some amazing times, guys. I'm really goodness, my God. I should be used to that. My former job, people tried to push this into my head. Like, people don't say guys, because guys is basically implying only male colleagues. Say fellas, say people, say whatever.
Just say, Ronnie, just say shiny people.
Shiny people. The shiny title rush people.
Yeah, the shiny title rush people.
All right, fellas. With that being said, I would say we are gonna end the stream for today. Lady and gentle beings. That's all. That is also a very good one, Devlatron. So thank you so much for joining us today. Next stream is going to happen on Thursday, 4 p.m. Central European Summertime as well. As well as obviously every week, Tuesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. CEST. So if you want to join us in the future as well, you are happily and warmly welcome here to join us, talk with us. Please also use the opportunity to ask any questions you want to ask about game development in general, or about what it's like to work in a gaming company or to build your own game. We are more than happy to answer everything that you have in your mind. Yep. But no, there's no but. We are very happy to do that. End of sentence. Yep. So thanks everyone for joining. Had a lovely time as well. Thank you, Rosie, for joining me as well on this lovely day. And see you on Thursday.
Yes.
And I will say goodbye to the chat.
Shiny people.
Yes. Shiny people. See you on the other side. Bye everyone. Leave a follow, bye. Drop a wish list on the game. We're more than happy to have a constant follower. If you want to get latest updates about the game, follow the game, wishlist the game. Everything you do to support the game is warmly and highly appreciated. And helps us, obviously, in making the game better and better. All right. Thanks for joining, everyone, and see you on Thursday. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.